welcome back to my yet-to-be-named podcast. I'm going to go ahead and skip over my empty promises to do this more often, because clearly I am incapable of doing that. I think the last time I did one was in August, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm back today, and you are welcome for that. Today's hungover Today's hungover edition of the Untitled Podcast is brought to you by Wild Turkey 101. Wild Turkey. Who needs friends when you can't remember the night anyway? I have a feeling that they will not be paying me for that plug, but okay. Today, I will be discussing a whole bunch of nonsense as usual. I apologize if the sound quality is not good. If it's bad sound quality, it'll just be on par with all the rest of them. You should be used to it by now. I got a text recently from my brother. He's actually on his way here. He asked how much beer we have, and I told him more than we will be able to drink, and that is a fact. Because I have a problem with alcohol, and it is not that I drink too much. If anything, it's because I don't drink often enough. I have a buying problem with alcohol. I go to the local liquor... By the sounds of it, I've already been drinking, but I have not, I assure you. I go to the local liquor store, and they have too good of sales to not buy them. I'd be stupid not to do it. So I literally just have a closet of alcohol that I do not drink frequently enough at all. And so we will be drinking some of that today. He told me that he wants to go out in the woods and cook steaks over a fire, which I fail to see how a steak is a convenient delicacy to try to eat in the woods, but apparently that's on the agenda for today. Also, I asked him if that's just going to be luring in wolves, and he told me no, because we will be playing anti-wolf music. I've been struggling to think of what that would be exactly. Like, get out of here, you wolves! Or, wolves stink, yeah. Oh man, you know what's even worse about having to wear these headphones? I can hear how badly this podcast is going. So what's been going on in my life? I'm actually just going to pull out these headphones, and as I said earlier, the sound quality will probably be bad, but I'm okay with that. As will have to be. That coffee is horrible. Wow. Okay, that... my Keurig broke recently, and I don't know what to do about it. The needle on it has just snapped off, and I don't even know how that's possible. I've been holding out on buying any parts because I was hoping it might be under warranty. However, I have no proof of purchase or when I got it, so I should just try to figure out how to buy a part. I did. The day it happened, I looked online trying to find the part for it, and I cannot find it anywhere. Do they just not make parts for Keurigs? Are you just supposed to buy the entire thing over again and throw away a properly working machine? You know, that's the real problem with America, ladies and gentlemen. We throw away entire appliances that still work. But yeah, what has been going on in my life since August? Oh, I work in a pharmacy now, which is just a socially acceptable drug dealing position. It's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I like my coworkers. They're great. It's just been a good overall experience. One thing I was not aware of, and that is, it's an interesting experience, the sheer terror you feel when you're selling lice-killing shampoo. It's a very odd feeling, because I noticed as I was doing it that when it was all said and done, the transaction was over, and I went to hand the individual a bottle of lice-killing shampoo, my torso was involuntarily leaning backwards as I was extending my hand. So it was like the bottle wasn't moving, my body was just moving around it. There's no there's no polite way to tell someone that you don't want to come into contact with them. I can't hand it over without any kind. I can't just be like, go long, and throw it to them. There's that aspect. There's also in my job training, I'm literally told to, in an attempt to appear empathetic, I'm supposed to lean forward to indicate that I'm listening to what the individual is saying. So my job is literally, I wait for sick people to come to me, and then I lean forward and they spit on my face. And that is an unfortunately large portion of my job that I do every day. On the plus side, I think that's another word that just gets thrown in there. My immune system is better than ever because of the fact that I am introduced to a different germ on like an hourly basis. But it has been good. I've learned a lot of things through it. I have a lot more to learn. The training is extensive, and I feel like I have not learned much from it, but I am getting there. I apologize. I'm going to just stop right in the middle of my sentence there. I apologize for the sounds that my pants are probably making. They are Captain America pajama pants because I aim to impress. But no, this microphone's almost too good because it picks up on way too many noises and I have no way to control that. I suppose I could just have my headphones on while I do this, but I choose not to. Anyway, in the training, another interesting thing that is presented to you is that if a doctor's... Okay, how do I phrase this? We get written prescriptions, and they are oftentimes difficult to read because doctors are in such a hurry they apparently can't even write legibly. They're just freaking out all the time, like, you just send in the next one! They're just scribbling. And in our training, it literally tells you if the doctor's handwriting is too legible, that is a sign that is a counterfeit prescription. That is how bad of a stereotype doctors' handwriting is, that if it's too good, you shouldn't believe it's real. I don't understand why, the socially appointed smartest people in our community can't figure out how to write better than a 6-year-old. And I really don't have much more to say on the matter. Just they should take that into consideration to try to fix that. However, I have gotten good at interpreting essentially hieroglyphs. Let's see. This, for any of you who may be new to the podcast, which I'm sure there aren't any, I don't write anything down before I do this. I just sit in front of a microphone and hope something good happens. And usually it doesn't, but occasionally it might, with any luck. And there's no way to pause it either because my sound recording equipment, or rather programming on my computer, is something called Sound Recorder, and there's literally just a start and a stop button. There's no pause, there's no editing on it, it's just start and stop. So I have to keep rambling until I think of something else to say. And right now it isn't happening. What else has been going on since August? Probably many things. I oftentimes think, hey, I should record this so that I can talk about it later, and then I just forget about it and then forget to do it. Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up. It has apparently been so long since I've done these that my idea... Let's see. my random topic generator, there we go, that's a good phrase, is discontinued. It was StumbleUpon. It was an app that actually really helped me out to think of things to say, and I tried to sign in, and it's just gone. It is gone, and it told me I Googled it, and Google said that StumbleUpon was an app that was discontinued June 30th. I'm choosing to believe it is June 30th of 2018, because the last time I checked, it was working, and if it was any longer than that, I am just an even more horrible host than I thought. I probably only did 2 of these in 2018, and now I'm up to 1 3 months in. I'm struggling to think of something to say. I think I'm gonna have to stop it. You have to stop it and think of something to say, and then start again. But then that means I have to edit this, and I don't want to have to edit things. But I think I'm losing listeners literally by the minute, so I only have about 6 minutes before no one else will be listening. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this for a second. Come on. Okay, I'm back. And I decided that I am not going to edit any of this. So if you're still there, God bless you. You made it through. You made it through that awkward silence. And there's more to come, I'm sure. I've written a few things down. This is so terrible, but I'm learning, okay? Give me a break. And I need to take these headphones off again because I don't like listening to myself. I think part of the reason I'm struggling with this is it reminds me of bombing on stage. And I haven't done a lot of stand-up, but I have done enough to know just the horrible feeling you get when it's making me nervous just talking about it. The just horror-stricken feeling you get when you're up there and you're talking and no one's laughing. And that's pretty much what all of this is. I'm talking, it could be the best thing in the world that I'm saying, but I don't know, I have no feedback. Doing that, it's like all of the nervous energy you used to get in school when you had to go up and do a presentation, only you're choosing to do stand-up, whereas you had to do it in school. And instead of trying to teach someone, you're trying to make someone laugh. And if they're not laughing, it's just is the most quiet, off-putting experience of your life. But that's something that you have to learn to get by, as do I. Even now, when I'm in a room by myself talking, obviously I'm getting no feedback, except for from myself because I'm a lunatic. But yeah, something that draws me towards doing stuff like this is that the only thing that I was really good at, I need to put this pen down or I'm going to keep clicking it. The only thing that I was really, really good at in classes was speeches. And it was speeches or like creative writing. And it was only when I had like free reign of whatever I wanted, because then I could just kind of let my ADD take over and just run with it. But if it was something that had to be extremely informational, then I wasn't so great. But I remember, a few speeches that I did that went really well. There was one that was supposed to be a slideshow of just trying to be... just trying to motivate. That coffee's so bad I need to drink some water quick. The speech was just trying to motivate the class to do something. And I remember it was a minimum of 6 minutes. And mine was 2 minutes and like 35 seconds. And I got 100% A on it because I made the teacher laugh the entire time. It was just a random slideshow of pictures that had really nothing to do with one another. There was that speech, and then there was one in college that I got over 100% for, and it was all about... the subject was just something that happened to you, just a story, and I got over 100% on it because I was making the teacher laugh so much that he stopped grading. And that was... I'm not sure if I want to record what that was about. Well, I'll just... go ahead and say it was about the time that when I was 19, I snuck into a bar and then I threw up in a stranger's car. And I got over 100% talking about that in a class. I also remember in creative writing, I used to make smart kids mad at me when I would succeed in classes, which is... so funny to me that they cared that much, because I have never cared about anything. There was one creative writing class I remember that there was like a straight A student, in the class. It was in high school. And he got like an 85% on a short story that he wrote. And he turned to me, he said, "What'd you get?" And I had gotten like a 98 or something like that, or 99. And I told him, and I remember him just saying something along the lines of like, that is just absolute crap. And I luckily was enough on my feet that morning that I could reply with, "Oh yeah, if you didn't know any better, you'd almost think I was better than you at something." It is interesting to me that it definitely seems when people are really smart, or they at least like to think that they are, or that they think that holds, how do I want to say this? A certain, clearly I am not. I'm just not. Clearly I'm not someone that holds myself to my intelligence. I don't even think that sentence made sense, but it seems when someone thinks they're smart or wants other people to think that they're smart, if they fail at anything, it's just automatically nonsense. That it's not because maybe they're not good at it, it's because the person grading it or judging it, that they are wrong, that they're not good at it. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So it's cold in Minnesota. It's gotten warmer. It's, I think, 12 degrees outside today, and partly cloudy. Let's see, in January we had a cold stint. Let's see, it was, I don't think we got any snow until like mid-December. It was like t-shirt weather right up until near Christmas. And now it's been just like record colds. I don't remember what the wind chill was, but I remember the coldest that I saw that I've ever seen, it said in Barnum, it was 36 below and sunny. And that was the actual temperature. That wasn't even counting wind chill. And we have so much snow here that plowing the driveway, it's like it's a trench. Driving through it, it's like 8-foot piles of snow next to the driveway all the way down. And the really miserable thing about Minnesota is that the second it gets even remotely nice out, it doesn't even like, I think it's if it's just above freezing. Like if it's 35 degrees outside, all of a sudden there's fruit flies in the house out of nowhere, and there's no way to combat it. I mean, you can get fly strips and that kind of works, but they just show up the second that it gets not miserable outside. It's a lot of nonsense. Why do I live here? I do like Minnesota overall, though. Minnesota Nice is kind of a total load because anytime someone finds out I'm from Iowa, they make fun of me. My coworkers literally threatened to build a wall out of snow and have me deported to Iowa, which, albeit, is funny, but it is not nice. Minnesota Nice only exists if they want something from you. That's not true. People are overall nice up here, but I think they were in Iowa for the most part too. If you work in retail, not the case. Not always, but as a whole, I think that's true. Up here, the scenery is by far much more beautiful, and there's all sorts of state parks to go to and things to do because I'm kind of close to Duluth, so there's actually a somewhat large city nearby, and the Great Lakes are obviously great, thus the name, but the road systems make absolutely no sense. I believe I've been spoiled by growing up in Iowa where it was a grid and the roads increased from south to north by intervals of 5 number-wise, obviously, and then from west to east, going alphabetically, American, Balsam, Cameo, Dancer, Echo, Foothill, Glass, Hickory, Indigo, Jericho? Was there a Jericho in Iowa? I live on Jericho now, so I feel like there is, but probably not. Anyway, that's how it was in Iowa. In Minnesota, at least in this area, they have to guide the road systems around swamps and hills, and That's my thought on the whole thing. My directional skills my directional skills up here are not very good. If I haven't been to the place, it's really tough for me to figure out which direction I'm going. But aside from all those horrible things I just said, it's pretty great up here. The tobacco prices are bonkers. I have not bought tobacco in Minnesota since before I lived here, which is actually really good, like health-wise, obviously. And smoking just isn't even appealing anymore. It just tastes bad and makes me feel horrible. But what's interesting to me is that Minnesota tobacco prices are insane, but liquor prices are a lot less. And then, for instance, let's see. Like a pack of cigarettes up here range anywhere from like $8 to $12. I remember one time trying to buy a pack of cigarettes and then telling them to put it back because it was over $12. That was a few years ago, though. But that's kind of the tobacco range. Whereas in Iowa, I guess it's been a while since I've lived there or since I've smoked, but the tobacco prices, I would guess, are still around $5 to $8, depending on which ones you're getting. Now, on the flip side, liquor in Minnesota, like, just frame of reference, bottle of Maker's Mark, a fifth of Maker's. Up here, I think I've seen it as low as like $21, and in Iowa, a fifth is, I think, $33. And up here, they also have liters. So fifth being 750 milliliters, you know, a liter is just 250 milliliters more. There's liters of booze up here that Iowa, I don't even remember them having liter bottles. And oftentimes when you go into a liquor store up here, if anything, they don't have fifths. They just have liters and handles. And I don't know if that's because people feel the need to drink more up here to appear nice and appealing. Sorry, I gotta check my Snapchat here. My brother's on his way. I want to make sure he's not in the ditch. Let's see what he has to say.
I made it to Barnum.
Okay, he's almost here, so I'm going to have to wrap this up here soon. I bought a banana shirt recently, and it is fantastic. I was having a bad day at work, and then I found this shirt, and it actually improved my day just by looking at it, so I had to purchase it immediately. I don't know what my problem is. I have a serious issue with shirts, with ugly, like, button-up dad shirts or polos. If it's horrible looking, I just feel the need to buy it, especially if it's on clearance, God help me. I cannot pass up a $4 hideous dad shirt to save my life. I don't know what my problem is. I remember the first time I bought a shirt like that, I bought it to wear ironically, and then over time I just kind of started wearing it ironically. You know? And then as time went on, I started wearing it more and more ironically. And moronically. Moronically. It's becoming a problem. I've started wearing them chronically. I can't stop. I've been thinking about putting numbers on them, and then I can wear them chronologically. Okay, I'm really grasping for straws here. So I'm going to end it. This has been horrible. I don't know why you guys listen to this, but please continue. All 6 of you down in Iowa, maybe 1 in Texas, if you're a good brother. But yeah, I'm going to cut it there, and we will see if I come back soon. I know I always promise to, but then laziness prevails. So, we shall see. Have a good weekend, rest of your day, rest of probably the year until I talk to you next time. All right, see you, everybody.